Yes. You see how quick Audrey walks? This is excellent. And she was explaining now. Tell us about your knees before.
The knees that were painful.
No more pain. I'm here with Audrey, and Audrey, thank you so much for inviting us. My wife is behind the camera, and yeah, Audrey, we know each other, I think, for 7 years, plus minus. Is it more than that?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but it's something like that.
Yes.
Yes. So Audrey, Audrey is a client of mine, and I'm so impressed by her, and she WhatsApped me, and we had this discussion going, and the reason why we are here today is, I think, to share what helped Audrey, and yeah, this video will form part of the testimonial playlist, and yeah, so Audrey, I think we must just start maybe just with a little background. Who are you, and yeah, and you know, what is your journey up to here? If you can just tell us a little bit about you, about yourself.
Okay. When I grew up with unexplained headaches as a child. I would have terrible headaches, but nobody knew what it was. And when I was about 17, I went to the doctor, and then I had a headache, and because I was young, they didn't tell me anything. They just wrote on the card. But later in my adult life, when I visited that same doctor, I checked my record card and find out that at that age of 17, my blood pressure was 170 over 100.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And since then, because then they didn't put me on any medication, they just gave me treatment. But at the age of 24, I started being on the chronic medication.
For hypertension?
For hypertension, yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I lived with that for most of my life. In 2002,
yes, then
I discovered that I was diabetic. So I went on with that, trying the diet, don't eat this, don't eat that. I tried that until I think that was now the age of what do we call it? Technology now.
yeah.
Yes, now I started learning about things and discovering about diet. I would try this diet, I would try vegetables, I would try all sorts of fats, I've tried everything that you can think of, except for maybe I was never someone who's keen on like medication for.
Yes.
I was on chronic medication, but trying other things like losing weight, using this and that. No, I always relied on food to try to solve the problem. To solve the problem.
But it was difficult.
It was.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
And I think also the reason why it was difficult for you is because some of the ways of eating that people suggesting, it's not easy to follow that path. And that's why I always talk in my videos, I talk about sustainability. Is this way of eating sustainable? Is it possible to do it long term? And we've got examples of that on the carnivore way of eating, of course. It is possible to do it long term. But it's interesting, so you've been diabetic since 2002. Then it progressed, you carried on with taking metformin. Did you use diabetes
medicine?
Yes,
I did.
And that carried on until when?
I was trying because I'm someone who likes to. So when I see something, when they say side effects of metformin, I'm going to check. When they say side effects of what's that one for cholesterol,
you check
it or something.
Yes.
Yes. Then I would go and check. So I said, these things, they're also killing me. But, and then you came.
Yes.
You came and were selling me the purifier.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we got talking, and then I think I shared with you about this, all these ailments. So you told me about the carnivore diet, and then we didn't go deep into that, which made me realize that information is very important.
Yes.
It is, because from there,
yes,
I went to the butcher and got meat and fat, extra fat, but I didn't really actually realize that there were a lot of things that I had to stop, like
yes,
vegetables and stuff, because my type of sugar is that one which doesn't just
yes,
go away like that. So I tried that, and because I was still eating other carbohydrates, the fat was not feeling fine with me.
yes, yes.
So I stopped. Continued trying to. I was always trying to get off medication.
Yes.
Now, then I stopped taking. I was off medication, but then I would be on. I did intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And then it didn't work because I was still taking, but I stopped the known sugars, like I wasn't eating bread, porridge, rice and stuff. But those vegetables, again, they're still not good for me.
Yes. Yes.
So during Corona, and when it was now not being, I was not able to control it. I would go and visit my doctor and say, no, this is no longer working. He put me back on medication again.
Yes.
Then it was back and forth, forth. And then during Corona, he referred me to another physician. And then the doctor told me he was going to increase the insulin. I was now, and that was
Did you start to inject?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
So you became insulin dependent.
Yes.
Although you're type 2 diabetic, actually.
Yes. And I was keen on trying to get my sugar right with food.
That's right.
And now he tells me, and my worst nightmare was taking insulin.
Yes.
So I came back very hurt and I said, what am I going to do? During Corona, I went on. Then I stumbled upon Dr. Carnivore.
Dr. Kenberg, yes.
Then I started listening to him. Then my other cousin also, I think around the same time, she told me about another doctor in Polokwane.
Yes.
Said, this doctor can help you. He didn't give me medication. He just told me to stop eating carbohydrate, all of them.
Yes.
Then, with my cousin's advice, I went on to try to do that. I remember one time I take leave from work and then went there. And she said to me, why are you going there? I told you, the doctor says you must just eat meat and animal products. And I said, okay, I'll go and try. But she wasn't explaining it like a doctor. I came back, tried. Went to my doctor. My local doctor always encouraged me to take care of my health. And if I wanted to be off something, he would support me. And yes. And then we took some tests at some time, and then the results came. Again, he said my cholesterol was high. I must be back on
statins.
Yes. Always when they suggest a medication, I just get depressed. So I came back disappointed, and you came. I was complaining with that purify, then you came.
Yes.
And then somehow, just we got talking, and then I took the results out.
Yes.
And then he said to me, no, according to me, the results are fine. The cholesterol it's fine. But I'm not a doctor. Go and check get another opinion from a medical doctor.
Yes.
And went back again, even to the YouTube and check, and then I realized that, okay, that's true. There's something going on. Research is going on about cholesterol. So I must go and find. That's when I went back to Polokwane and got this doctor who helped me, explained to me that no, you leave all these other foods and stuff, and now eat anything that is from animal.
But isn't it amazing, Audrey, that the very last thing that the doctors will look at is nutrition? The very last thing.
Yes.
And now, here's this doctor in Polokwane.
Yes. In Seshego, actually.
Yes, and that's wonderful. And I work with a lot of medical professionals, a lot of nurses, and I always, like for instance, last night I worked with a biochemist, you know, and those are the professionals, you know, and I like to share this information with them. What will they do going forward? Will they share it with the next type 2 diabetic and tell them, listen, you can reverse your type 2, you can reverse your hypertension? Okay, so and continue. So what happened then? So you went to Polokwane, he gave you the information, and you started to apply that information.
Yes, I think basically it had to do with you understanding how this is going to work on your body. Because if you get scared, that's why I also want to always refer people where they can understand what is going on. Because I don't know what will happen if someone tries it and still add some starch, carbohydrates and stuff.
Yes.
So I started to understand that I'm going to eat meat, which will help me. I checked also that the whole meat thing, this will be responsible for vitamin C, vitamin Z. So you must first believe that in that diet all the nutrients are there.
Yeah, so you must have the right knowledge, and you must make a decision, an informed decision, and you must discuss it with your doctor. Yes, and that's what you basically tell your friends as well. Discuss it with your doctor. Yes, and then educate yourself. Educate yourself so you can have the knowledge here, and then moving forward together with your doctor, you can start to reduce your medicine. And that's what happened to you, isn't it? How long did it take since you started the carnivore diet till you were off your diabetic medication and your hypertensive medication?
I'm still on hypertensive.
Still on hypertensive. As a preventative, or is it actually necessary to be on it?
He just said to me, for now, keep on taking.
Yeah, because, but I think you're not very long. How long are you busy with the carnivore diet now?
From last year,
September.
Yes.
Yeah, which means we are now in June, which means it is about 8 months. Am I right? 9 months, I would say. So, which is it's still a healing process. Okay, but there will come a time together with your doctor where you'll decide together, okay, maybe it's time now to reduce the hypertensive medication and cut it out completely. Because many people on the testimonials, on the interviews, they've managed to stop their hypertensive medication because, as you know, insulin resistance upregulate the salt retention on the kidneys. And that's where hypertension come in. So that's why I always say you must talk to your doctor, because your insulin resistance will go away with the carnivore diet. And eventually the body will recover and it will heal itself. And it's a healing process up to a year, you know. And then if you keep the medicines too strong, it's too strong. Then you won't feel nice. Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Because I told you that I've tried everything.
Sure.
Intermittent fasting, I did that.
And did it work?
It did.
Okay.
It did work, but I suffered in the hands of...
Is it?
Yes, I did suffer because I would be hungry. I've never, because of my high levels of my blood sugar, I preferred doing 1 meal a day.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I say I suffered.
Sure.
But I'm happy today because with Carnivore,
Yes.
I get that I'm going to have now 2 meals. In the morning,
Okay.
I do have breakfast. My breakfast will be eggs, boiled eggs and coffee.
Okay.
And I would not even feel any hunger.
Wow.
Around 6 o'clock. So I'm still like looking at the intermittent fasting as another way of...
Yes.
Yes, because with the intermittent fasting, I discovered that snacking was bad.
Snacking, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Eating almost all the time.
Yeah, too much, yeah.
Yes, it's bad for...
Yes. And your dinner, what is your dinner typically like? What are you liking to eat?
Like I said, because I'm still learning.
Sure.
I'm trying to include like every type of meat that I can get.
Okay.
Because I heard somewhere that this type of diet is somehow elimination diet.
Yes.
Now I was thinking that I don't want my body to be rejecting everything. But
yes,
even when I'm trying, I'm making some discoveries like dairy.
Yeah.
Dairy, I love yogurt.
Sure.
But
doesn't work with you.
No, it doesn't.
Many people complain about dairy, especially yogurt, especially with the gut issues. Yeah, if somebody is struggling with gut issues and inflammation, we advise people to stay away from dairy. Yeah.
I don't really have problems in my gut
as such,
but most, like I'm saying, I grew up with a headache, so I just believe that most of my illnesses, when they're wet or somehow, they just headache.
But did you know this, Audrey, that there's a link between the gut and the brain? They call it the gut-brain link. Okay. And you've got 2 nerves. It's the vagus nerves. And you know what happens is a lot of this inflammation that we are experiencing represent in the brain. Your brain get inflamed. So it's not always just to say inflammation should be in the stomach, or in the joint. Inflammation can occur in the brain. I experienced it. I drank too much milk. So that's why I advise people don't drink milk at all, because a liter of milk has 47 grams of carbohydrates in it. So if you drink a lot of milk, a lot of glasses of milk, you're out of ketosis because of that milk sugar. Cream, on the other hand, has 23 grams of carbohydrates in a liter of cream, full cream. But the real butter is the best one because that one has 0 carbohydrates, basically. So you can eat a lot of that. It's like 78% saturated fat, which is very good for the brain. But I became depressed because of drinking milk. Yeah, it made me not feel good. So it takes you out of ketosis, and so inflammation can occur in the brain. It can.
What about cheese?
Cheese is good. You must just be mindful. Cheese has a few problems. It does have carbohydrates in it, so there are some carbohydrates in it. So if you have a sweet tooth, like I do, your cravings can stay because there's some nice flavors in the cheese and there's a lot of sweet taste in the cheese. So if you consume a lot of cheese, you will keep your cravings for other things to eat. You know, so that can be a problem. The other thing with cheese is you can gain weight if you eat too much of it.
I don't mind that now.
And the other thing with cheese, if you eat too much cheese, you can become constipated. Yeah, so that's if you eat too much in bulk of that. One of my best videos is where I take a whole block of cheese on TikTok and I eat this whole block of cheese, and it got 40,000 views when I was eating the cheese. But I've stopped that now.
What type of cheese were you using?
It was just this cheddar cheese, you know, this yellow type of cheeses, yeah. But some of my other friends, like Nico, you know, he say eat cheese every third day. Don't eat cheese every day, you know, for the simple reason that the carbohydrates is a little bit too much if you overuse it, you know. Yeah, but on the other hand, like I told one of my other friends that I'm also going to interview soon, if cheese is the thing that helps you for now, eat it, you know, because sometimes it's better to eat cheese and it keeps you on the carnivore diet than to cut out cheese completely and you struggle to maintain your carnivore diet. So if that is the thing that helps you, like Nico, for instance, Nico Gucha, he cooks very deliciously, and he uses cheese a lot in his dishes. You know, you will see it on the videos. But I can't cook like that. Yeah. So, and yourself, you prefer cheese?
No, not really. I'm that person who worry about, am I healthy or what?
Yeah.
Now, I was using also bacon. I was using a lot of bacon and minced meat. My body was itching. Itching.
My goodness.
And I stopped. That's why I cut my hair. Like everywhere.
Yes.
My body was itching, and then I stopped dairy. I stopped minced meat and
the bacon.
And
the itching went away.
Yes.
It's amazing, huh?
Yes.
But something that's very interesting, Michaela Peterson, it's Professor Jordan Peterson's daughter. Have you heard of Professor Jordan Peterson?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you must check it out on my blog. He's one of the big carnivore guys. He reversed his depression with the carnivore diet.
Maybe
Joe Rogan interviews him.
Depression.
Yes.
Isn't it an older man?
Yeah, it's older. Professor Jordan Peterson is a very a well-known professor, and his daughter suffered from arthritis since a young age. She reversed her arthritis, she reversed her depression, but they are on the lion diet. She calls her diet the lion diet. That's where we come to the lion diet, which is stricter. But what she found...
What's the difference?
The difference between the carnivore and the lion is carnivore is all animal products. Yeah, so it includes dairy. So you can eat cheese and you can eat eggs and fish and white meat, red meat, any kind of meat. It's fine. But on the lion diet, it's only red meat. So it's only ruminant. Yeah, so it's only ruminant meat. So it's not chicken. And then, so it's very much stricter. But she had to do it. She even struggled to eat things like meat that are aged. You know, you like these aged steaks that you can buy. I don't know if you ever saw in a butchery, some of these steaks, they dry aged it. So that it becomes better in a sense. So they keep it there for 20 days or whatever, you know. But those kinds of meats, they tend to build up histamines. Yeah. So there's some chemical process going on there that is not suitable for some people. And Michaela said she struggled with aged meat, and she struggles if she introduces different kinds of meats. She tolerates mutton and she tolerates red meat very well, but she struggles with things like pork and things like that. She can't tolerate it. So the thing with the carnivore diet and the lion diet is, although it helps us a lot, you know, it seems that when we reintroduce foreign things, it catches us. It catches us. So it's like your body don't want that anymore. I think that is that And I think we must respect that. You know, our body don't want that. You must get in tune with your body. Like you say, you're experimenting, adding things, taking away things, and so forth.
Okay.
That's very interesting. So what I've learned now is you are off your diabetic medication completely.
Yes.
Well done, Audrey. And you've done it in how long a period since you started? How long did it take you to stop your medication completely since you started the carnivore diet? How many weeks would you say?
With me, I think, because I've always hated taking medication, I think I stopped the diabetes medication long before I started the carnivore
diet.
That was when I was doing intermittent fasting.
Oh, so the intermittent fasting helped you. Okay, so
when I was about to go back to medication, that's when the results came out for cholesterol, and you came in, and I took it further to go and talk to the medical.
So let me just understand nicely. So with other words, you went to the doctor, and the doctor were not happy with the cholesterol results.
Yes.
But what did he say about your diabetic sugar levels at that stage?
No, it was okay.
It was okay.
Because by then I always discuss with my
But that was before the carnivore diet.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
And then I would ask him. Sometimes I would sneak and like live on my own, maybe for a month or two, before I go to him and say, please, can you stop? I want to stop the diabetic medication. And say, can you do it? I said yes, because I know I've done it for 2 months now. Then I continue like
wow. So you did it with intermittent fasting?
Yes.
And so what kind of way of eating did you do at that time?
I still didn't. I was doing like maybe
a type of banting?
Yes, maybe like yogurt and berries. Like,
okay.
And then meat.
Okay, so there was meat.
Yes, there was.
And there was yogurt.
And there was yogurt.
Plain yogurt, not sweetened yogurt.
And
there was some.
By then, because it wasn't carnivore. By then, even if it was plain yogurt, I would still go on fat-free stuff.
Okay, so all right. But did you eat a lot of fruit and vegetables?
No, then I didn't. It's long that I haven't been eating fruits.
But Audrey, then I would say, although you did not call it carnivore at that time. You were actually on a carnivore diet, sort of.
I was still having vegetables.
Oh, you were still having vegetables.
Fruits, like the only fruit I was taking was blueberries.
Yeah, but berries are good. Berries are good. It's a low carbohydrate thing. So
I was on low carb.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to figure out. Okay, so with other words, you reversed your sugar diabetes by doing low carbohydrate. Yes. And so you got the benefit of that, and then you went carnivore and you got more benefits, you would say.
The difference for me was that with low carb and intermittent fasting, I was hungry. I was very hungry. Around 6, I always had my one meal at around 6 o'clock. During the day, I'll have coffee, green tea, waiting patiently for 6 o'clock, and it was scary.
Okay, but now it makes sense for me, Audrey, because I was not understanding. So, with other words, although you achieved your goals by reversing the type 2, which was your goal, you were struggling to maintain that way of eating. Because that's what I made a video like that, even with the vegan diet. You know, the vegan diet, by eating only, if you do a certain type of vegan diet, if you cut out all the seed oils, if you eat low carbohydrate in a vegan way, you can reverse type 2 diabetes. It's doable. It takes longer, but here's the thing, and I say it in that video, you can't maintain it because you have to eat something, and that's the problem. So, and And it's great that you reversed your type 2 diabetes with a low carbohydrate diet, you know, with the yogurt and with the berries and eating a lot of meat, you know. So it was a low carbohydrate diet, and maybe it's sustainable, you know, if you do it in that way. But you found the carnivore diet, and you found that it's better. You're not that hungry because you eat until you're not another bite full.
It's not even better. It's just perfect for me.
Thank you.
It's just perfect for me.
Okay.
I don't get angry. I have this energy. I want to say that.
Thank you.
I have that
Yes.
energy. Yes.
Okay. So your energy became more on the carnivore diet.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people will appreciate what you're saying now, because some people, they are struggling with very good diets, like for instance the Banting diet, and the keto diet. They are very good diets. There are some of my friends, they reversed their type 2 diabetes. They even lost a lot of weight, if that was their goal, with the keto diet or with the Banting diet. But they struggled. It was always a thing of measuring and weighing things and working out how much must I eat of this, and I shouldn't eat too much, and I shouldn't eat too frequently, and all those things. But with carnivore, as you might know by now, you eat until you're not another bite full. You're satiated, and like you just said now, you are full of energy. And I think this is what I'm learning today from you, is that although you got benefits from the low carbohydrate diet, and you didn't know really about the carnivore diet, I think if you knew about the carnivore diet properly, you might have quicker gone on to that.
Yes.
And I think that this is wonderful, man. Audrey, you're helping people today. Yeah.
I wish that this can help someone who's struggling like I was. Yes.
Yes.
I did metformin, I did glucose, I did insulin.
Yeah. You ended up injecting insulin.
Yes.
I just want to discover the period. When did they want to give you when did they give you insulin again? It was before the low carbohydrate. So when did you started the low carbohydrate and you managed to stop all of that? No.
As I was saying, my doctor was always supportive. So
that's nice.
When I remember the day he called me, because he knew how I felt about medication, and he called me and said, "You know what, Audrey, I'll have to put you on insulin." Yes, because it was going up, and I think my type of diabetes is that one that even little
yes.
Carbohydrate, it will go up.
Yes.
So by then I didn't know. Then he put me on 10. I don't know the measurement of whatever insulin. Then I stayed in 10, and I was scared.
Yes.
It was during the time of Corona. And I was scared because of the way I approached my diet. Then I would wake up feeling somehow in the middle of the evening, and then check my blood sugar, and it has gone down to 2.
Sure.
Insulin plus diet.
Sure.
And nobody will understand that story except for yourself, because you know you are eating well, but there is insulin, and you don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So and then up and down. When I stopped, and then it went on. When I went to visit that doctor who increased the insulin,
yes,
and even said that we can even increase it to 30, and then you can have your cake or eat whatever you want. That's when I just prayed, God, please hear.
Yeah.
It must just be you and me.
But that's the doctor that supports you. Is that the one? No, that's the other one.
The one where I was referred to. Then he increased the insulin.
Okay.
And I was so disappointed. I was hurt, because I'm the person who wants to be healed through food, and now they say I can increase the insulin and enjoy my cakes.
This
and I can't
incredible.
even remember one last did I have. a piece of cake. I'm striving not to go there.
Yeah.
So
My goodness. All right. So since starting the low carbohydrate diet, how long did it take you to get off your meds? What? How many weeks would you say, or how long did it take you to stop the medication since starting with the food?
I was just that person who just say, it's June now. It's the 1st of June. I'm
Yes.
stopping this and sticking to that.
So you immediately?
I would just stop and then go for a month, record my readings, record my
Yes.
readings, and things I'm improving. Then I would go to my doctor, and then he'd say, let's see if you can hold it for 3 months, and let's check your age, what
Yes.
your
Sure.
sugar,
Yeah.
your fasting sugar, whatever.
But you were testing on your own as well?
Yes, I
You
do.
were testing every day?
I still do that.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I would
still
say
do that
that's very
because-
important.
Yes, I do that mainly because again I'm still trying this food and that food.
Yeah.
So I want to know which
How it
one of
affects
them-
you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my goodness.
I still do that.
Sure.
So I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm very happy in this
May I tell the people your age? Can I? Audrey is 63. You're 63.
I'm turning 63.
You're turning
in
63.
November, yes.
I couldn't believe it. You look so good.
But
You look so
know,
young.
There's someone who's helping me here in the house, and she was saying, you look better than when you were still teaching.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Because I stopped this in I stopped teaching in 2020.
Yes.
But that was when Corona was there. I was scared for my life because I was on insulin, which drops my sugar to 2 in
Yes.
the middle of the night, and then I'll go to the kitchen, look for a peanut butter or what.
Yes.
I was scared, so that's what motivated me.
Yeah.
I'm always full on the carnivore diet.
Yes. You're satiated. You're full.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have the energy.
Yes.
I'm just drinking my water and eating my meat.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And some people, I think somehow, even at the beginning when you told me about the diet,
Yes.
because sometimes you think that it's a steak and butter thing or steak and fat thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm still, in our culture we have, I don't know if you do eat the benehute.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yes, I enjoy that. I buy chicken feet, livers,
Yes.
and hearts.
Yes.
and
They call
enjoy
it,
them.
in carnivore, they call it nose to tail eating. With other words, you eat the organs as well.
Yes, I've seen that someone
Yeah.
knows to tell. I do. Where I'm buying my meat and mabodu, sometimes they say they're selling head meat.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy that too.
The brain,
And
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just enjoying eating.
I must try
everything. You must.
I must try it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you must. I'm eating everything. I was eating liver because I thought that was rich in vitamin, this and that.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
You know what, Dr. Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, he say if you enjoy liver, eat it. If you don't enjoy it, don't eat it.
Yes, I've seen some doctor who said.
Yeah, so there are two groups.
Yes.
Yeah, the one
you
group
can-
say you must eat nose to tail, and the other group say doesn't matter. And there are doctors or there are people that have been doing this carnivore diet for 12 years. They only eat the steak. They don't eat. Yeah, they don't eat nose
I
to
know
tail.
the steak and butter girl.
Exactly. So I think you must listen to your own body. I think that's the most important thing. Audrey, I want to ask you if you can give people advice how to start, especially coming from understanding where you came from. Maybe people have similar situations than you. What advice would you give them? How to start? What is the process, would you say?
I would say they must start with eliminating carbohydrates especially the sugars that, because most people I always tell them, remove all the sugars, the rice, the macaroni, the bread, remove them first. Go to vegetables, meat, and pap. Because when I had a conversation with this doctor, and I've been referring people to him, and one day I said, I refer people to you, and you don't tell them about this stuff. And he just said, some people are just addicted to carbohydrates. It's too hot. So I know that for a person who's been eating breads and all the stuff and porridge, I think, even with my experience, I think the porridge was still better than bread. Yeah. But I for me, what I would be meaning, it would be that this must be, you go gradually by the like eliminating things.
I understand.
Eliminating things. Yeah. The next thing you're going to do is going to eliminate that porridge.
Yes.
You go by little by little.
Little by little. That's what you mean.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And then eventually take all the starches out, including the potatoes, the sweet potatoes. For me.
Yes.
Yes. And then you're left with the green leafy vegetables and meat. Then when you go and when you gradually introduce fat, because people don't know that the fat is going to make you feel satisfied.
Yes, the fat,
Yes, the fat will make you
satiated.
It will make you energetic. I think the energy also comes from the fat.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just happy. So people must, like I'm saying, you try this, you eliminate. When it's not working for you, just take it out. Take it out, take it out, until you are where you're comfortable. Yeah. And I think the carnivore diet is where you get your comfort, because it offers you the energy that you need. It offers you are satiated.
Yes. That's wonderful. There's a lot of wisdom in what you say, because some people, if you tell them straight, no, you must just eat meat, it's too much for them. They say no.
They just say to me, oh, well, no, you can do it. But if you eliminate things, like I was on vegetables and eliminated all the fruits. I can't remember when I enjoyed.
But it's like this one doctor. I must tell you this story. This doctor, his patient come to him and he's diabetic, and he say, doctor, I want to reverse my type 2 diabetes. And he say, yes, I'll help you. And how are we going to do that? I say, first of all, I want you to make breakfast. And do you like eggs? He says, yes, I like eggs. And do you like bacon? I say, yes, I like bacon. So I want you to make bacon and eggs for breakfast. And he says, yes, can you do that? I say, yes, I can do that. And then for lunch, I want you to make a nice steak, And he make it sound so easy. So
I think it is.
Yeah. So the point is, he was sitting there and he was writing the prescription, bacon and eggs, So it's so simple, but he had to hear it from a doctor, He had to hear it from a doctor to believe it. And it's so simple.
It start with his mind on the right direction.
Don't eat the pastostis, eat the egg. Don't eat the Weet-Bix, eat the animal based.
I think that that advice was the best advice to approach the carnivore diet. Because if you say, the doctor says to you, eat bacon and eggs in the morning.
Yes.
What he's saying is that after that, you haven't eaten anything, you're eating bacon and eggs. After that, you're going to be full for the long...
You're satiated, you're full.
You're satiated for the longer period.
Exactly.
Because there is no carbohydrate in what you've taken. If it's a lunch steak, again, it will take you up to...
For sure.
Yes, even longer.
For sure. I'm also on 2 days, twice per day. I eat twice a day. I eat before 7 o'clock in the morning, and then unfortunately I eat 9 o'clock because of my schedule, eat 9 o'clock in the evenings. And sometimes, like yesterday, I only ate once. So it's basically also sometimes intermittent fasting, but like you're full, you're satiated, you're full of energy. I still drink my coffee, and I drink my bulletproof coffee, the butter coffee, but I've started to use normal coffee, just normal coffee now, and I try to cut back on the bulletproof.
Yes,
Yeah.
I also used a bulletproof, but then I also stopped and just
Normal coffee.
normal coffee.
Yeah.
I was meaning to ask you about, when you're eating, they say something about your body having electrolytes.
Oh, the electrolytes. Yeah.
How do you get around that?
I don't use electrolytes. If people want to use electrolytes, they're welcome. I know Kim's Keto, one of my friends on TikTok. She has a product. I can't remember the name of the product, but if you go on her profile, you'll see there are electrolytes that you can buy. But I don't use any electrolytes. Are you using any electrolytes?
No.
Oh.
But that's what was worrying me.
Oh.
That maybe eventually I'm going to be lacking on that. But on my own, because I heard somewhere that you must, on this diet, you must either drink, actually it's a water and meat and fat.
Yeah.
But coffee can also be used.
Sure.
And then I started just a pinch, adding just a pinch of salt to my water.
Sure.
Whenever I take water, especially during the day, whenever I take water, pinch of salt in my water, pinch of salt in my water.
And it helps you.
I think so, because my last results looked.
Yeah. Yeah, Audrey, what I always say about the electrolytes thing is, and vitamins and supplements, why would one want to buy something that is made in a factory? I always use this argument. I say, if we go back 300 years, 400 years, and all the factories disappear and all the electricity go out, how will we eat? We will be farming. We will eat, maybe we will plant something, but it will be seasonal, But what will we eat? We will eat animals. We will have our goats. We will have our cattle. We'll be hunting, fatty meat. That's what we will be eating. There will not be stores and factories that manufacture vitamins and supplements and electrolytes and, that lion that's chasing that rooibok, when he catches that rooibok, he's not saying, I think I need a little bit electrolytes. No, it's in there.
It's in there.
That's why maybe there's wisdom in the fact to eat nose to tail, eat the organs, those things. What I normally do is the juice of the meat. Let's say I prepared some meat, and then, the watery juice that come out of meat.
Sometimes it turns jelly-like.
Yeah. That collagen type of juiciness.
Yes.
I consume that. I eat that. I drink that because I believe the electrolytes are in there. I made a video about that. Yeah. Okay. So the juices of the meat, I don't throw it away.
I think I do that when I eat the chicken legs and the cow heels.
Exactly. Dr. Kennedy Barry talks a lot about that as well. He says his wife, Nisha, she's a medical nurse, by the way. Yeah. And he says she likes the chewy bits of meat. If she finds a piece of meat and it's very chewy, some people don't like that to be too tough, But that is the collagen. Okay. That is the collagen, and if you look at how important collagen is for your skin and your nails and your hair and everything in your body, and all the different kinds of things, even things like bone broth, if you prepare meat in a pot, like in a pressure cooker, and you maybe you are preparing that meat, that juices that come out there, you shouldn't actually throw it away. You should actually consume.
I don't anymore. I don't.
That's good. Yeah. I think it's important to realize that everything that's in an animal, it's possible for us to actually consume it, you know,
I'm really grateful for this diet. I'm happy. You're the first one who introduced me to it. I didn't understand. My cousin introduced it, but I didn't. But now I can assure you, I can even take a spoon of butter when I'm like I want to snack on something.
You just eat it. Audrey, thank you, and I wanted to thank you for this interview. And you are going to help somebody, because there are people that identify with you and they do not necessarily identify with me. And your story is going to inspire somebody, and maybe in future we'll do an update.
Yes,
and because some of my friends that I already interviewed, I've already done a second interview with them, and it's nice to see the guys achieving their goals.
Yes.
You know that Niku Goodchild that I've interviewed, at that stage he lost 30 kilos, something like that. Okay, that was his goal, but he was a huge guy. The second time I made a short video for him, he lost 80 kilos. Imagine that. Now he's 87 down. He's done the strongman competition now. Can you imagine that? Going from, from being overweight to doing the strongman competition. It's amazing.
On weight, I didn't say anything on weight.
Yes.
When I started this diet with the doctor in Polokwane told me about it, I was worried because, like I'm saying, that I look better than I did when I left work. And I said, you know what, I'm an old woman. I want to look like I'm an old woman. And he said, no, your structure is that structure of a small person. Even if you're old, you still look small. Now, I said to him, I want to look nourished. I don't want to. And when I started off, I think I was between 56 and 57 kilos. And then now I'm remaining at 54, 55, 54, 55.
Wow.
My weight is
Stable.
Yes.
Audrey, I also want to ask you another thing. How's your memory doing?
Great.
I'm so thankful to hear that.
I like reading, so I've even stopped reading, but now
I want you to repeat what you've just said now, because type 2 diabetics, and people that suffer from high uric acid, they start to struggle with their memory. I
didn't know that, because you see my hands, that's the uric acid. And because before they told me that arthritis is a progressive illness, and it will get worse. No, before I couldn't even make a fist. Like now. You
can make a fist?
Yes.
Which means you had arthritis, and then, which means you had high uric acid.
Yes.
And just for the benefit of our listeners, high uric acid is not just about arthritis. High uric acid is upregulated by insulin resistance in the kidneys. And every diabetic, they are insulin resistant, which means they can experience high uric acid, even if they don't have gout or arthritis. But that high uric acid, it makes the veins and the arteries hard. It's not elastic. And your vascular dementia risk is 55% with high uric acid.
I didn't know
that. I also didn't know that. And Dr. Paul Mutter, in video number 12 on my blog, he talks about that, specific risks. But now you are living proof. You told me just now, before you were reading something, you actually were discouraged from reading because you couldn't retain the information. Now you can remember again, you're reading again, am I right? Yeah.
I am.
And your memory improved.
Very much.
That's so encouraging.
Very much, yes. I was going to say that, like you were saying, I heard or read somewhere where they say, if you want to start eliminating, like you're saying, don't start avoiding all packaged stuff, like all processed stuff, like if it's in
processed food, yes.
If it's in a plastic bag, don't buy it.
That's very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Sure.
My memory is fine. I have the energy.
That's wonderful. And the gift to your loved ones start here with the brain. Yeah. If the faculties go, you're in trouble.
The first time when I visited this doctor, I was off. I was only off from blood sugar medication, diabetes medicine, and he stopped me from Ecotrain, the
Arthritis medication. So you stopped that as well?
Yes, he only left one tablet for blood pressure.
Okay, yeah, the hypertension one.
Yes,
yeah,
that's the only thing.
But like I said, I think in a couple of months' time, together with your doctor, you will have a new discussion, and maybe. And having said that, Audrey, I want the audience also to remember you must be patient.
Yes.
You must be patient with your progress, and this interview is actually a very good example of that. Be patient. You're only 9 months in.
And people must, I think I should tell them this, that when I talk about my high blood sugar, I'm talking about 26.
26?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So it's from 26 you took it down?
To, right now, when my blood sugar is 8, I get worried.
Yeah.
Now. Something that I used to be happy about.
Yes.
Today, I see my blood sugar at 6.
But what? 6?
At 7.
Wow.
At 4. I've never seen 4 in my life.
At 6.
The doctor reassured me that it can go as to 3 point something. You're still safe, and that's where it should go.
But currently it's on about 6.
6.
Wow.
5.
5 even.
Yes.
Wow.
When at the beginning of the year, I had a cataract operation.
Oh.
Yes. And then they took the blood sugars and the
wow.
routine check. And then my fasting blood sugar was 5 point. Is it 7 or 9? I can't remember.
Sure. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Here's what I learned. Audrey reversed her arthritis. Yes. She's off her arthritis medication. Audrey reversed her type 2 sugar diabetes. She's off her type 2 medication. She has a lot of energy. She looks excellent. Her memory improved. Yeah. And she is satiated. Yes. It's a lot of energy. And wow. And you look good. You look healthy. Yeah.
You also look good.
Thank you so much.
Both look good. I can show you.
Thank you for the compliment. Audrey, thank you again for the interview. I'm so happy that you allowed us. And, you know, it's going to help somebody. This is so inspiring.
Because I've always wanted to do something like this. I always wanted to reach out to people. So if there is a way I can help, I'm very much happy to do it.
Thank you so much, Audrey, for doing this. I appreciate it. Yeah, and we'll keep in contact, and this is amazing.
Yes, yes. I think it's the teamwork also works well, because
yes.
I when I get stuck, you know, I'll ask you
absolutely
for advice. I'll call you
anytime.
I'm getting stuck.
I'm on your speed dial.
Yes.
And it's that's what I like about our community. Is we help each other. We are similar minded. We've got the same goals. Yeah. And like you said in your WhatsApp, because I asked Audrey, are you willing to share? And she said, absolutely, I'm willing to share, because you know, basically the information you gave me saved my life. You know, and you want to save somebody else's life, and that's one.
I've also had that, and I've experienced it, that if you sometimes you get diarrhea. I think I got diarrhea at the beginning. Then I found out that if you have in your meals, you have too much fat, they'll give you diarrhea, and then it's not a problem. You just cut
Cuts back.
Yes.
And what about constipation?
Constipation also, it means you're having too much meat with too little fat. There must always be a balance between the meat and the fat.
So don't eat too lean.
Yes.
Yeah, don't eat too lean. And maybe if the fat is too much for you, cut it back a little. Yeah. I think it goes back to the thing of listening to your body.
Yes.
Yeah, experiment, and also different kinds of meats. You know, different kinds of cuts. You know, has different types of fat. You know, like for instance, pork fat is not the same as red meat fat. It's not the same. Chicken is not the same. Even juicy chicken is not the same as red meat. Yeah. So, but one learns how your body tolerate these things. But it's very, very interesting that you said. And you said another thing about the doctors. You said, what did you say before about the doctors?
I said that I think when talking to the doctors, I can see that they are afraid that when they encourage you to go to do a certain type and you don't do it the right way, then you're going to be like, for instance, if they say, or you can't say you are on a carnivore diet when you're still sneaking and
snacking,
snacking and sneaking to steal something.
Yeah, so you're cheating basically.
Cheating,
yes.
Cheating and throwing in some potato chips or maybe just potatoes or something that you will not get adapted to fat.
Yeah, and I think, Audrey, if we can say to each other, be honest with yourself at least, and take responsibility for yourself. And that's what I say, mostly in the friends in our group, we can at least, they take responsibility, they're humble enough to say, listen, I slipped up there, I did not eat, I ate off plan. But like I always say, fix it immediately. Go back to what made you successful in the first place. You know.
Someone was also even saying that if you cheat, maybe, especially in diabetes, you can fast.
Yeah, correct.
Because we know that whenever you eat, your insulin.
Yeah, very true. And like I always tell the guys, if you ate something that you shouldn't have eaten, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just go back to the basics. Go back to your carnivore way of eating. And don't put sweet taste in your mouth. So that's the secret, because the stricter you are with your carnivore diet, the easier you make it for yourself. But if you add sugary sauces, sugary spices, all these flavor enhancers, you're tricking your palate to want those sweet tastes next time and next time, and it's a vicious cycle. But if you can stick to salt, then you're fine.
I was also going to say that I forgot to mention that these days I even prefer to cook myself. Those ready-made food takeaways, I don't do that anymore.
Wow.
And when I do cook, it's just salt and water.
Yes.
The fat. Sometimes I use ghee.
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 Yes.
Ghee.
Yes.
I use ghee and butter. That's the
Okay. Yeah.
Then I eat meat fat.
Yeah. Of course. And ghee, of course, is it's like butter, but it's just more purified. So it's an animal-based product. So it's just the fat is more in the ghee than in butter. It's even higher. Yeah.
Tell me about butter. I forgot to ask, because is it any other butter, or do you strictly go for that made from grass-fed?
No. I buy the cheapest butter I can find. Yeah. I'm refusing to buy expensive meat, and I'm refusing to buy expensive butter. No.
I know.
Yes.
I know that if the diet becomes expensive, then you're going to fall out.
Yes. And Audrey, I want to encourage people to have a sustainable diet. And I work with people sometimes, they don't have plenty money. So now how can they sustain that diet? So don't buy the cheapest meat. Don't buy the most expensive meat. Now don't buy the most expensive butter. You know, I can buy butter now for 54 rand for a 500. Yes. You know, you can buy.
I was buying the one that was
130.
Yes.
Yeah, no. You must look at
so much about that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. So as long as it's real butter, don't buy plant butter. You know, all your canola, sunflower oils, they are out unsaturated oils. So your saturated oil is fine. Your real olive oil, not the blended one, because the blended one is mixed 90% sunflower.
Okay.
Yeah, so
no, I
stop that one. Yeah, no, we also don't use that.
Oils. I'm just on ghee and.
Yeah, that's the best one. That's the best to do it that way.
You sent me some.
No, thank you for sharing, Audrey. Appreciate it.